Let's talk about some moon conjunct Pluto. I would like to talk about some moon conjunct Pluto, and I love the depths of any moon in aspect with Pluto because it can range from, hold on, y'all. Still about the same. It can range from like having issues with the mother all the way up until the mother being like an extremely impactful person in your life. The moon is so close and intimate to us that any major, like any malefic placement that the moon has is often felt. Like that is one intuitive thing that you will most likely like. I'm sorry, there's cinnamon on my chin. Is something that you can honestly predict, especially in someone's chart, if you're reading someone's chart and you see a moon square Saturn or a moon conjunct Pluto, moon trine Pluto, there are always those malefic issues with the mother. Okay? There will always be some type of issue with the mother. Even if the mother was a good mother, a lot of these issues are like the mother is often absent, the mother is a great mom, and then she falls ill. The mom goes missing. Something is always happening. Or like a feminine figure. Like most of the feminine figures in your life are typically doing weird things behind your back and they're super secretive. And they can, when they're raising you, they raise you to be super secretive as well. So a lot of these people with these moon aspects to malefic, like outer generational planets, or just outer generational planets, because Uranus and Neptune aren't like malefic like Pluto and Saturn. They're more so just outer generational. It's just like people just aren't going to understand what's happening here. You know what I'm saying? With Uranus and Neptune, it's like people just aren't going to understand what's happening up here. The average person isn't going to understand that. So with moon in aspect to like Pluto or Saturn, there is always some real depth to this person. There could be a lot missing from their life as well. So not only do they have issues with the feminine aspect in the feminine people in their lives, they can have issues connecting to any other of their feminine friends. Pluto creates like a lot of jealousy, envy, and it also just creates a barrier. You know what I'm saying? It creates a communication barrier that even if it's not envy or jealousy, it's just not an energy you can connect with because you just straight up didn't have it growing up. So it's like every time you try to make that connection, it feels weird. It feels kind of forced, or people just don't care about your energy connection and they can just up and leave. Pluto is one of those outer generational planets that can create abandonment. So does Saturn. Again, Saturn can also restrict and create abandonment as well as Pluto. Pluto just gonna tear you up worse though. Pluto gonna tear you up worse. But Saturn is gonna tear you up. Like it's gonna be like not them though. Not them, sweetie. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, so if you have moon conjunct Pluto, I can get back to that. Sorry. I just like to talk about the general like malefic planets and what happens. So with moon conjunct Pluto, it's like taken to a new height. The malefic parts are taken to a new height, especially if the Pluto is in its power, not like in Libra or like in Sagittarius, or Capricorn. Pluto in Scorpio, it's in its power. So you can have parents that dealt with the low of the low. Okay, like they was in there getting torn up by whatever it was, and was like, this is the only way I can see forward. You know what I'm saying? Like these are people that did not and cannot do well amongst regular society. Like they just cannot. And it's probably not for the lack of trying, because Pluto makes some warriors. Like Pluto expected people tend to be some warriors, hard-headed, stubborn. You know what I'm saying? So it's not from the lack of trying. Like you got the resilience. It's from the like one day you're just researching and looking at something and then you just put it down. And then you just put it down and you walk off and be like, I gotta do it myself. I gotta do this, like I gotta do this for me. I got some other things to do, and then you never pick up that research ever again. You're just like, there's no point in this. So a lot of Plutonians are often really smart. And so a moon, especially a moon conjunct Pluto, or a moon in trine with Pluto, these Plutonians, this aspect is often really intelligent. And it's just because when you put your emotions behind something, you'll eclipse a Mercury. You know what I'm saying? Like a Mercury conjunct Pluto or a Mercury trine Pluto. You'll eclipse them if you put your emotion behind something. You're gonna find it. You gonna know stuff that make the Mercury conjunct Pluto go, that wasn't in the book, but that could literally be the missing link. That could literally be what I was missing. That could be what I was missing from this. Like you make Mercury aspects to Pluto hit eureka moments when moon. Not to mention, you catch on a lot faster. You catch on whatever you are actually interested in and emotionally invested in. You catch on so much like a genius. That's where the genius part comes in. Everybody thinks it's the Mercury aspects that are geniuses. They are well studied and studious, and they can hold information, and that is correct. However, like it cannot be intuitive. It cannot be the intuitive experience, because it's like tapping into records that only that person could have known, but somehow you know it. And you felt that on a level to where it's like you're opening up new stuff in the field. Like that's the aspect that the moon does with Pluto. It's an incredible thing to like experience death in such a different way, in the subconscious. It's like you're asking the universe for depth, for investigation, and it answers you. Mercury not gonna do that. Mercury is not gonna do that. Mercury is not going to ask the universe like that. what they'll do is they'll find it. They'll go and find the physical, because that's what Mercury is really all about, the physical. I do love me some moon in aspect to Pluto. I really do. Very, very secretive, very intuitive, very feeling, very psychic. Can definitely change the feeling of a room. You change everything. You can change anything in a room. And that's not to be like a guru type person, but I'm being so serious. So many times I've walked into a room or into an area, and my energy has changed absolutely everything up in there. And so now everybody want to go study something or want to go investigate now.